Alright, good morning everybody. Hi! This is Miss Hayes. This is our next episode of Desktop Math. And I'm going to talk to you today about the Pythagorean theorem. You can probably already see over here where I messed up, so let's just start this again. So we're going to be talking about the Pythagorean theorem, which is an extraordinarily useful tool. You'll use it all through high school. It's an amazing kind of a thing. I'm going to break this video into two parts to try to keep them short and post them on YouTube for you. So this one will just be about right triangles and solving for the hypotenuse. And the second one will be solving for a leg. So on this one, we are solving for the hypotenuse. Okay. Hypotenuse. This is a right triangle. We know it's a right triangle because it has a 90-degree angle in it. That defines a right triangle. These sides are called the legs, and they are interchangeable for the purposes of stuff I'm going to show you later. This long side over here, that's the hypotenuse. They're doing construction in my neighborhood and I have the window open. You could probably hear some of it in the background. It was pretty loud. So anyway, sorry about that. The Pythagorean theorem is a handy-dandy little formula that we can use to solve for a side of a triangle. And this is it. That's it. That's the Pythagorean theorem right there. And we will be using that to solve some problems. And this is useful for so many things, particularly in architecture and construction, and construction, which is happening outside. They tore up my whole street out there. Okay. So I'm going to set up a problem and show you how it works. So here's another right triangle. And let's say that this is 8 inches and this is 6 inches. And we want to find out, well, how long is the hypotenuse? And we can't just measure it. We've got to use the powers of algebra. So, here we go. The legs are always A or B, and they're interchangeable. It doesn't really matter. The hypotenuse is always C. The hypotenuse is always what? Say it with me. C. The hypotenuse is always C. So, here we have our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm looking at A over here. Well, that's 8 inches squared. And then I'm looking at B over here. Well, it's 6 inches squared. I should have put the squared by the number, sorry. There it is. And then we need to find what C squared is. So, think back into your reviews. Actually, we're going to do that. That's your assignment tomorrow. Reviews of squares and perfect squares and square roots. 8 squared is 8 times 8. So we got 64 plus 6 squared is 36. If you add up 64 plus 36, you will know that that is 100. And then, I'm done, Miss Hayes. I already know the answer. The answer is 10. That's easy. It is true that the answer is 10, but we have to do one more step because we are students who know how to solve equations now. So you have to do, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. The final step of this is to take the square root of both sides and this is 10. And the square root of c squared is c. So, the Pythagorean theorem, oops, I need something to point with. Here, I'll use some scissors. The Pythagorean theorem is this formula. We use it to solve for different legs on a right triangle. This is extraordinarily useful. You will use it your entire math career. It's used in architecture and construction and bridge making and any other kind of thing like that. The sides are called the legs, and A or B is interchangeable. That doesn't matter. That'll be important in the next video. C is always the hypotenuse. C is always the hypotenuse. And then we write a formula, sub things in, and hopefully write the exponents in the right place. You don't even really need the inches either. I was just showing you that 8 times 8 is 64. You don't have to write that part. I'm just refreshing your memory. 64 plus 36, and square root of both sides. 6 minutes. I'm going to do one more, just so you can see a slightly different one, and I'll try to do it a little bit faster. So, solving for the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always C. In this case, I'll just make it some random numbers, and then we'll get some decimals. How's that? 11, 14, and who knows? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I hope you watched the other videos that I posted, because there's all kinds of good songs and everything. 11 squared. Colin Dodd song's really good, by the way. 14 squared equals C squared. I'm substituting it in. This one's 121. This one's 196. C squared. 121 plus 196. 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. 317 equals C squared. Take the square root of both sides, square root of both sides, and hold on, let me grab my calculator. Okay, calculator achieved. There we go. Square root of 317. So the second square root 3. Oops. Did I mess it up? No. 1, 7. And push the arrow button to get out of there. Equals. I know it's going to be decimals forever. 17.80449381. So I'm just going to write 17.8. It's about 17.8. So 17.8 roughly is equal to C. The square root of something squared is itself. So this length over here is about 17.8. I didn't put units, so we'll just say units. 11 units, 14 units, and now 17.8 units. I love the Pythagorean theorem. I think it is awesome, and I hope you guys like it too. It's such a useful problem-solving tool, especially when you get into geometry in 10th grade. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and then I'll make another one about how to solve for a leg. Bye!